Alright. So it's time to start this thing. It's gonna be just a little bit of a short stream to show a little bit of how Lo Wang works in single player. I might even go into a little bit of multiplayer against bots and see how that works. But in the meantime, let me launch the game. I'm gonna be playing a little bit with my preferred map set. Probably my most favorite map set, if that's even a way of saying it. Whispers of Satan. I just love the thing. I don't know. Can't possibly blame me. Okay, launching it. Give me just a second. Alright, I'm just making sure that you are able to see. I don't think you're able to see this yet. Here we go. And here we go. Now this should be coming up. Alright, looking good, looking good. Give me just a sec. Another second. There we go. Alright, so Whisper of Starting. Alright, so it's no secret that Lo Wang was coming. Actually, on Discord I at some point asked for help on IDS. Oh, how are the volumes, by the way? Are they good? Is it too loud? I don't know. I asked for ideas of what we could do for Lo Wang, and a lot of the usual suggestions are to give him a katana and make him be just like what's the name of this guy? Kenshi in Overwatch, you know, super fast melee and all that stuff. And that could have worked had it not been that we already had Sorgal, which is a character that does all that already. You know, she's able to run really fast and attack with melee, even has like a dash attack and all that nonsense. So it really didn't make sense for us to have another character that did exactly the same thing. So instead I was looking for something a little more different, something a bit more interesting. Maybe not more interesting, just different, something that still worked. And there were several types of ideas, like, I don't know, make him drop the like a clone hologram thing of himself, and you know, like the Reaper Heart does in the actual Shadow Warrior. But we already have two characters that bring help to the table, so I didn't think that was gonna work really good. And let me adjust this again. Here we go. So yeah, no, I just didn't want to repeat what we already had. So instead, after thinking a lot, we came up with a little bit of a combination of abilities that makes him a peculiar character. And I hope it's not overpowered, but only time will tell. And if it's overpowered or underpowered, we're gonna adjust it when the time comes. But let's do this, alright? Alright, so first thing to notice, of course, here it is, Lo Wang. It's grouped, I don't know, I wish I could do something about this menu, but it's grouped with the light champions. He's a light champion, therefore he's a squishy. But that doesn't mean that he's weak. Now is the music on? Options, sound, music, yeah, music sound. Alright, so starting stack, you can see it's a very standard stack for a light champion. The emphasis on this champion is on health, not so much armor, but you will see why. Also, let me adjust. Can I adjust it over here? No, I can't. Is V allow jump? Is V allow crouch? There we go. And test Wang. Li Wang. Alright. So, abilities. Let's reveal them already, shall we? If you don't know, we have already a system to show the information about the champion so that you can see it in-game, but that's by configuring this thing over here, champion information. I have it for F1. And here it is, Lo Wang. So you can see all the information. He's a light, health with 125, armor max of 50. The active is the Nobitsura Kage, which is the sword. Quickly execute a double slash with the katana. What does this do? Well, you will be able to see it right now. So say we have a bunch of monsters over here. They're there. They're gone. So while this seems simplistic, like a very, it's just a quick attack, it has a couple of things to consider. It's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the fastest cooldown on any ability in the game. Not counting kill, but kill is a little bit of a different case. This is because this guy is meant It's a little bit like a quick melee, except that it's not melee. It's a little bit on the range side, so it's meant to be pretty, you know, pretty good to deal with a bunch of monsters, or in certain situations, you know, in multiplayer, a bunch of players. However, it has a limited range. I'm gonna cheat a little bit to show you. It has a limited range, and you saw like a Shadow Wing. So yeah, I'll show this more in context when I'm playing a little more. But in regard of the passives, you may have seen on the screen what they were. And if not, let me pull them up again. The first passive is the Peacock's Blessing. You might be, if you played Shadow Warrior 2013, you know, the first, well, the reboot. You know what this does. It's a healing ability. Now, before anybody goes like, wait a second, a champion that can heal himself. Well, first of all, it's a thing where you have to trigger it by tapping right, and then holding the use key. As you can see, my health is on 42, so I just go right, use, and I start healing immediately. However, this only heals you up to 60. So that means that it will save you in some situations, but don't expect it to be absolutely overpowered. This is an ability that you can use literally at any moment when you're under 60 health, so there's no cooldown, there's nothing. Let me cheat again to show you a little bit of how this works. Take health, what would be 70. I'm at 9 health, so I can already trigger it, and it will start healing me. It heals me for 5 seconds or until I reach 60 HP. In this case, it was 5 seconds. It didn't reach 60, so I can just trigger it again, and here we go, 60 HP. So that's one of his passives. But in contrast with that, his second passive is called Tiger's Rage. When under, actually it's wrong over here. It's when under 40 HP, it deals 30% more damage. So you will be able to see this in the heads-up display. Come on, a little bit more damage. There you go. Suddenly my screen went a little more red, and I have this icon on the top of my portrait. That's showcasing that I already have the Tiger's Rage active. So this champion basically becomes one that is about risk-reward. If you are in very low health, you're going to be dealing a lot more damage, but at the same time you're incredibly vulnerable. And in single player this might come a little bit useful. It's not going to be extremely useful, only if you have really planned how you want to do an attack, let's say on a Cyber Demon or something like that. But in Deathmatch, that's where it really is going to shine, because dealing 30% more damage to enemies is really a big deal. Suddenly hitting a railgun shot that deals 100 and some damage, it's a big deal. Let me get the secret over here and let me play a little bit. I just spent a whole lot of time explaining what this does and not actually showing it. So yeah, that's basically how this guy works. It's a lot about getting close to your enemy. And another thing that I did not mention is that using your active ability doesn't actually interrupt the weapon that you're using. Some people were wondering why this guy seems like he has 3 hands. He doesn't have 3 hands, it's just a positioning thing. But see, over here I'm firing, and at the same time I can do the ability without stopping my weapon. So that allows you to do a whole lot of burst damage on your enemies, and that's mainly the thing. I wanted this guy to be quick, to be one let's say kind of fragile guy that still can deal a ton of damage on the enemies. So that's pretty much the function of Lo Wang. And of course he has his usual taunts. I chose about 20 because I cannot have a whole lot more of taunts without blowing up the file size. 20 of the what I believe are my favorite lines that this guy has, so you will be able to hear that. And actually something new that we added in this version, in the QCD options we have added a slider, which is a taunt chance. This usually before we had auto taunt on or off. Now we have a slider to say how verbose you want this guy to be. So you can set it all up to max. Actually the max has been increased in another build that we have already. But yeah, so that you can, for example, when you're playing in GC Doom, you don't have a taunt button, so you can always just use auto taunt and go with it. So that's pretty much it. That's the Shadow Warrior. And yeah. Oh, another thing. I don't think I can do it now, but we already fixed the randomizer issues that we had in the previous version. I wanted to show that, but oh well, it's kind of late for that. So let's just play a little bit of Shadow Warrior, and for you to see how he plays in single player. Like I said, maybe I'll go into a little bit of Deathmatch in a time mix. So again, the beauty of this thing is just the fact that you can use it while you're using your weapon. Not all the player abilities are like that. Many actually interrupt your ability to fire a weapon. So you can see my cooldown just really is almost not existent. 15 seconds. It's very little time for a cooldown. So that's the cool thing about this guy. You're able to use his ability very often, which is good. In particular, one thing that I always thought of the light champions, the squishy champions in QCD, is that they're not great for single player, because there's a lot of monsters, and usually in single player it doesn't matter that you have a small hitbox, because, well, it really doesn't matter. So I wanted to have, for once, a light champion that would be able to wreak havoc on single player, and this is it. This is the one. And you know, with all the taunts and nonsense that he says, it's a fun character to play as. Regarding speed, he's just about as fast as every other light champion, but still, that's nothing to be skeptic about. Cool, especially with minus 50%. What are you talking about, Revenant? I'm not sure. So yeah, if you have questions or anything, post them on the chat. I'm looking at the chat, so I can reply to you in real time. Sort of real time. Remember that there's a little bit of a delay, but you get the idea. And for anybody that joined a little late on this thing, I'm playing Whispers of Satan, showcasing Lo Wang, the new champion, to be released in a little under 2 days. So yeah. Ah, Jesus Christ. So the healing in this, it's gonna be mildly useful in single player. I think it's gonna save a lot of situations. And again, if you can control how much damage you're taking, or if you have a protections, you can just go to town with the damage ability, with Tiger's Rage. So yeah, this guy is complete. His two passives are completely, what you say, completely not against, but opposite. They're completely opposite. One makes you be not so weak on the health point, and the other one takes advantage when you are weak on hit points. So I thought it was an interesting combination of abilities. Really, it just makes it high risk, high reward. Oh yeah, the reliquary. Yeah, indeed. When you get minus 50%, this thing is ready in 7.5 seconds. So. And actually the max you can get is minus 60% with all the, if you get enough of those bonuses. So imagine 60% off of this thing, it's just a lot. So he can really spam the thing. And that's the beauty of it, you know? Being able to use it every less than 10 seconds. Right here, bunch of monsters, oh, you're gone. But again, it has a limited range, so that's one thing that players will need to get used to, the range of it, because when we were testing in our closed beta testing team, yeah, I keep seeing some people just spamming the thing but really not considering the range. So that was like, I'm too far for that, you know, that's not doing anything to me. Another thing that we added in this version, or we ported more like, is the functionality of the tribal, which is more akin to what you see in Quake Champions now, where the thing explodes in midair, you know? So that thing is there, and it's gonna be really spammy. We'll see how it plays in Deathmatch. I tried to balance it as good as I could, but, you know. Balance, theoretical balance, and actual how it plays, it's always different, so that's something to keep in mind. Back in the day, we thought that Caleb was underpowered, and then some really crazy good players who started using it, like, oh, okay, that's hardly overpowered. That's actually quite overpowered. We had to nerf him. We have nerfed him like at least 3 or 4 times. Even in this upcoming version, he got another nerf. Sorry to all those Caleb mains, but that guy is just broken. So we needed to adjust it a little bit. Okay, this is a good place to use it. And as you see, in single player, well, depending on what type of maps that you're playing, you don't have much use for the passive. Like right now, I haven't used a single passive just because I keep getting super healthy. Maybe I should have played in a harder difficulty. Or a harder map set, maybe? I don't know. Goodbye. Yeah, but come on, Caleb was really cheap, Revenant. Like, Avernus and Jahar using that thing is just like, ah, come on, that's just silly. So yeah, he had to take a couple of nerfs. He got the nerf. Okay, protection. So for example, this would be a good situation to damage myself as much as I can and be under 40 health. Here we go. And now I have additional damage. And since I have protection, I don't really have to worry too much about taking a lot of damage. And if I do, I just stay under 40. Hold on, let me get this thing. So long as I stay under 40. Oh, I said under, not over. There we go. I can keep myself dealing a lot of damage, so that's a good thing, right? See, suddenly dealing 100 damage per bolt, yeah, that's a bit, quite a bit. Though my protection is wearing off. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The damage plus the ability, the active ability really become overpowered. 30% extra damage on that thing that deals a lot of damage by itself. Yeah. It's kind of fun, kind of fun. That means more people will use the Famine Tribal. Harder maps it with Deathbound. Nah, come on, Deathbound, it's a little insane. Somebody recently was saying on YouTube that the mod seems really easy. It's like, well, you know, there's quite a bit of skill, so you can tweak your skill level, the difficulty that you want, the way you want it. Die. So yeah, right now I'm playing with one theme per map, which means that of all the monster sets that we have available, only one single set will apply for every map rather than being completely random every time, or just committing to one single theme for the entirety of the playthrough. I thought this was the option that we were missing back in the days of Eons of Death. Harder maps at meme bound. Okay. Have to go up here. I love this map set. I swear to God, I love it. One of the things that I really like about this map set is that it's the difficulty is not it's not a slaughter map or slaughter one, whatever you call it. But it does get difficult at parts. It doesn't have a zillion monsters thrown at you, which is something I don't personally enjoy, although I know that a lot of people do. But yeah. Okay, that should be it, right? What did I get? What did I get? Random weapon. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's do a couple more levels and then I'll jump into Deathmatch to show the guy in some IRL situation. Well, really with bots because, you know, this isn't public yet, so there's nobody to play with. But, you know. Oh, I should have used the ability there instead. I'll damage myself for the sake of using my ability a bit more. Oh, too much damage! I just noticed that I haven't really even had to save yet. There we go. Alright, so there you go. High risk, high reward. That's how this guy works. Different intermission music. Actually, that's a little bit of a bug that I haven't fixed. It should be the same usual thing, but I don't know why it's not reading that file and now it's using the music of the readme thing. So, I don't know, I'll have to fix that, but I just had not remembered. Good thing you pointed it out. Okay, come over here. And also another thing, the shockwave that it's created with the sword goes through monsters, so even if you hit it directly on somebody, it still goes through. So that's a way of dealing a lot of damage there. You can open this here. Ooh, yeah. And yeah, you can tell it's daytime for me because there's airplanes. Oh, fuck. So one thing that players will have to get used to if they want to use these guys and how to trigger the healing thing. It's not difficult, and anybody that comes from Shadow Warrior 2013 is gonna be more than used to it. Except that in Shadow Warrior 2013, instead of being with the use key, it's with alt fire. But in here we didn't want to do that because it was gonna start messing your weapon usage. So instead we just did it with the use key. So right, use, and you'll be on it. Airplanes, yeah, enjoy the airplanes. I know it's a beautiful thing, right? And even though I can use the ability with the weapon, sometimes I forget and I still stop in order to use it. It's just, don't be fooled, you don't have to. I'm just an idiot, that's what happens. Ah, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm dying. Ability, save me, please. Well, the extra damage helps. Alright, time to heal up. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I can use the healing and the active ability and the weapon all at the same time, so yeah, this guy is multitasking. He's good at that. Oh, how I miss my mechanical keyboard with its incredibly clicky-clacky keys. But then one key broke and forget. Oh, and you know what? Actually, in Deathmatch, I'm gonna show you something else that we have been teasing already quite a bit in Discord. That looks very, very pretty. But I'll show it once we're there. Red key over here. Die. I think you know what it is, Revenant. You really... Yeah, I think you do. It may or may not start with V and end with oxels. Just saying. Just saying. 10% cooldown. Awesome. So now my cooldown is of 13 point something seconds. Yes. How lovely is that? See? And suddenly my ability starts becoming more and more usable. Oh shit. So now you see why this guy is so much about health and not so much about armor. And actually, that's the stack that Caleb used to have until the nerf in this version. So yeah, they're switching roles a little bit. Alright, let's just finish this map and then we jump a little bit into Deathmatch with the new add-on, new official add-on, courtesy of... Oh, god damn it. No, the other... close enough, but you misspelled it, man. It's with V and ends in oxels. It doesn't end with voxels, it ends with oxels. It's different. After enough revisions, we're ready to show that thing. Okay, if I die again in this map, I'll just jump into that. But yeah, that's gonna be... Well, I'll talk a little bit more when I'm in there, but... Bones, voxels? No. Oh, damn it. See? Healing, man. Healing is a thing here. Just gotta trigger it right, and you're good to go. Oh shit. Okay, well, I'm dead. Alright, well, that gives you a little bit of an idea of how this guy plays in single players. It's still a challenge, you know, because he's still squishy, has a very small stack. So you have to be careful on how you're playing with this guy. Particularly if you're playing really difficult maps. This is not a really difficult map that I just suck at playing, that's the thing. But yeah, let's see. Let's have a look at a little bit of Deathmatch with the new thing that we are bringing this version. But let me set it up though, because I wasn't planning on showing it, but why not? I mean, we're already at this, right? So let's spill the beans already. Hold on, let me get it in the right place. Almost there. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you also the 2 new maps that we added in this version, just because I'm feeling like that, you know, showing everything. It's like, okay, I'm gonna pull up my skirt and show you the goodies. You know, that's just a figure speech, people. Don't get all riled up about it. Hold on. Let me just modify this a little bit. And let's put a little bit of this in the meantime while I work on this. Give me just a second. I think you should be able to hear it. I don't even know if it's playing, but let's say yes. I think it will work if I just do it like this. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Alright, this seems to be working. Give me just one more second. Free Bob, Caleb P, not a Morty. You know it, Revenant. You know it. Hold on. Alright, let me just load this up. And I have about 10 minutes to show this, and then I gotta run because real life calls. You know, people, this is why you have to donate to my Patreon and stuff so that I can quit my job and just dedicate all my time to playing. I mean, modding and working really hard. Yes, that's what I meant. Hold on, working on this. And okay, now let me turn this off and here we go. Alright, so yeah, it looks like single player, but it's actually let's go with oh, I didn't load the maps yet. Hold on, I'm an idiot. Give me a second. Of course I had to fuck it up, right? Of course. Hold on. Okay, now it should work. Yeah, this is what you get when you have a newbie streamer that rarely had a stream before. That never had stream before last couple weeks. So, just, you know, setting up shit and whatnot. Come on, tell me I didn't fuck it up this time. There we go. Oh, Jesus, we have the... Alright, first I want to show a little bit of this map, Lost World, because it's one that we had before for anybody that knows about the Quake Live maps and whatnot. Well, even before I go into that, I think you can see what's the deal of this new add-on right here. It's pretty, it rotates, and it's not a 3D model. That's right. Alright, let's add some bots. Add bot, add bot, add bot. Let's have fun with it. Alright, so Lo Wang in Deathmatch works exactly the same as in single player, but it's just a matter of knowing when to use your ability, when to retreat, when to use your other abilities and whatnot. So right now I have already my extra damage. So do I want to keep dealing? Would you stop getting stuck right there? Yeah, bots are stupid. Just like, I'm gonna stay there, hugging the wall, because I'm a bot, and I enjoy hugging walls. So yeah, the thing that I changed about this particular map, the original map that Rooster made, which is basically this, was slightly different in the structure. I mostly took out some of the corners and things that were getting on the way. And also I removed the railgun, because this map was never meant to have a railgun. Oh, you asshole. I mean, it's all good, right? I'm not doing a great job of showcasing the ability. That's what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, ability's back up. So I can foresee that the healing ability will be most useful in duel, where, you know, you're trying to survive every single fight. In the case of FFA, well, a lot of players just play really loosely with that. Where's everybody? Where are you guys? There you are. Are you kidding me? I swear to God, the ability works. I just suck, you know. That's what happens when you don't warm up. Oh look, they're coming apart. Yeah, okay, I do have to fix that text over there. That says it's under 30 HP. It's under 40 HP. Ah, you. Yeah, like I said, we're working on the balance of the thing. I know why I removed the rail. Yeah, it was actually pretty abusable, you know. So. My suggestion on how to use this ability is with weapons like the nail gun, that is just spams, because you're gonna be incredibly spamming. Spam plus spam equals somebody has to die. And as you can see, bots are pretty keen on using their abilities too, so. And the auto taunt, of course, also works in Deathmatch, so there's that to keep in mind. Well, I think that's enough of this map. I just wanted to show a little bit of the... As you can see, it doesn't really look all that different, but... Ha! Goodbye, Caleb. It doesn't look all that different, but believe me, in-game, if you play the previous version, now you can tell the difference. Okay. How about I get a little extra damage? Okay, no, never mind. I'll heal up. See? It's all about trapping your enemies in corners, and suddenly the ability becomes much better. Yeah, so how are those voxels, huh? Courtesy of Abriduke and Barbarossa. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Barbarossa? I know that if I were to say it in Spanish, I would say Barbarossa, but you know, I'm pronouncing in the slightly Americanish pronunciation, Barbarossa. Alright, let's go to the next map, which is one of the 2 new maps in this version. It's called Cure. Again, coming from Quake Live, and if you play Quake Live, you might be... If you liked watching competitive duels of Quake Live and of QuakeCon and all that stuff, you're probably very familiar with this map. So this is a port that I made of it. I tried to be as... what's the word? As accurate to it as I could. Taking a couple of liberties on the placement of a few items, but that's kind of the deal with this. Oh, god damn you! Oh, come on! Oh, there's squishes. No wonder why I'm having issues hitting them. You removed so that Avernus can rail you. Well, yeah, I mean, it has a super gigantic open place where you're trying to get the rocket launcher. If somebody else already got the rail, you can be damn sure you're not gonna get a rocket launcher on that map. I mean, if they're good with the rail at all. That's one of the things. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, take some sword in your face, man. How does that look, huh, by the way? I'm telling you, voxels really do make a difference. Come on, I want that protection. Ah, you asshole. And he stole it. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I'm trying, but it might just work. Come on, come on. Okay, it didn't work. How about I try again? Ah, never mind. This ain't working. Ah, really? Okay, pro tip, don't shoot the shockwaves at the walls. Doesn't really do anything. So as you can see, you don't have the healing ability, unlike Kane, where you could just heal immediately. This takes quite a bit of time to heal you, so you don't want to rely too heavily on that. You just gotta be, like, if you want to use it, maybe you want to take some cover, make sure you're not gonna take any further damage, and then heal up. But one thing to keep in mind is the fact that the enemies will still be able to see all those Chinese symbols that you have. Trivia, by the way, those symbols mean peacock, or some sort of bird, and grace or blessing. So, just a little bit of trivia. No, I don't know any Chinese, I had to look it up. And it was kind of entertaining to try to look up symbols of a language that you don't know how to, write. Oh, damn it. Oh, I don't think he picked it up. Did he pick it up? No, he didn't. Good. Mine. Heal up. Oh, come on. Really? I lost that? Jesus Christ. Yeah, tribal. I'm still trying to figure out how to best balance tribal after this new revision of the spamming is introduced by Quick Champions. Ooh, I'll take that. Spamming rockets, yes. See, that ranger guy is really good at using the dire orb to kill me. I'm surprised. You're a bot, dude. You're not supposed to be good. Look at that armor. Seriously, every Duke did an absolute job with these things. Absolute amazing job. That's what I meant to say. If I didn't say that, that's what I meant, alright? 119 damage for a rail. That's slightly OP. There you go. Ability in action. Oh, it's coming, right? Alright. Come on, come on. So yeah, this is one of the 2 new maps here. It's big enough to allow some FFA action, while the other map that I'm gonna showcase now, which is Toxicity, it's more of a dual map. So there's that. Oh, you might have heard a little bit of an Easter egg right there, but maybe you confuse it with the real thing, so I'm just gonna shut up about it. It's an Easter egg that not a whole lot of people have witnessed, or not. Maybe they have witnessed it, but they don't know what it was. Oh well. It may or may not have to do anything with an airplane. Alright, I think that's good enough for one map. Let's go to map QCDL05, which is the new map. Toxicity, again from Quake Live. And let me add 2 bots, because more bots, it's a little too crowded in here. This is another one of those CPMA maps. And in this case, it's particularly more for duel, because it's not too big. And I try to respect the main things about the map, which is how weird you can use the teleporter over there, because you can use it from the front, but you can also use it from the sides for some reason. And it makes absolutely no difference. It always teleports you to the same place, but I don't know. It was like that in the original. I wanted to keep that. Ooh, beat that.
Oh, must be American made.
You said it best. You said it best. Oh, no.
That's what you get for making Lo Wang chase you.
Yeah. You tell him, Lo Wang. You tell him. No, get away, bud. There you go. Player. Oh, that's a really dumb bot.
Skelly. You diddly little snake. Shit face off.
I love that line. I'll be honest, I didn't know why some lines were there. Like later, recently I learned that about the ugly, skelly shit. It's what he says when you kind of defeat the ugly, skelly lizard shit, whatever, snake shit. I don't even know what it's called. Jesus, these bots. Okay, so the previous bots were kind of insane, and these guys are kind of dumb. Oh, would you die? So there it is. Now you have seen Lo Wang in action. He can be really a pain in the ass. No, no, my armor. I'm telling you, spamming weapons plus the ability equals win. God, I just get lost playing this thing. Even though it's against bots. Oh, you... Fuck. There you go. 13 damage per tick of that thing. That's a lot of damage. Oof, oof. Okay, I have not been using Railgun. Let's use Railgun. Who is dumber though? Player or brutal player? I think they're about as dumb. Let the record show we're talking about the bots, not talking about actual players. Though we may have made them particularly dumb as a reference of a certain players that may or may not be named the same way. But I'm not admitting anything. I'm just saying that it's a hypothetical case? Yeah, that. Oh, get away, you. Alright, well, there it is. You have seen Lo Wang in single player, now you have seen the Wang in multiplayer. Anything else you want to see before I end this stream? Any questions? We're taking callers. Anything at all? Let me know. I'll just play for a little longer here. But now I have successfully spilled the beans. I'm ashamed of myself. Now I just wanted to do this in a slightly different... Oh, I missed a jump. Slightly different way than the usual, where I keep everything secret and everyone has to discover the things by themselves. And I'll show you how to use these abilities, what's the best case scenario that I have found, and that's about it. Oh, another thing that I decided to keep in this was these little ledges too. Like to get over there, you can use this ledge. Yeah, those little details, I love to keep them. Although I don't know the maps well enough, even though I play them, I don't know them well enough to keep every single thing, you know. But there is that. Okay, let's make this more interesting. Oh no! No, the bot of Toxic! That's how I lost this match. Let's add a time limit of 7 minutes. Yeah, and word of advice, don't step into the thing, into the acid. It kind of burns, you know? Quite a bit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is gonna quickly devolve into a crazy massacre. That's another part where Lo Wang kinda shines, dealing damage to a lot of... Oh, you goddamn asshole. Come on, go over there, go over there. Ah, jeez. Yep, use the jump. Alrighty then, well, after this match finishes, I'll be ending this stream because real life calls. But here we are, you have seen Lo Wang now. I hope people don't get so riled up as they did with Duke Nukem when they really wanted that, like the... what is it called? The Devastator weapon for ability. Like, no? No, that's not what's gonna be happening here. Is there a bonus block to practically a walking aim but Terminator obliterating everything inside? No, there's not. There is not. Yet. Alrighty then. So, well, thanks for everybody that joined in to watch this this little stream. Just wanted to showcase a little bit of this guy and show it to the world. He needs to see the light of the world. And we'll see how it plays when more players actually get to play this thing. Because there's always that situation where real players end up showing off that this was overpowered all along. And then, yeah, kind of not so cute surprises about that. But we'll see, we'll see. But once again, thanks a lot for tuning in on this little stream. And we'll see how this works. Remember, this is going to be released on a Thursday rather than a Friday, which is usually when we release. It's going to be released on Thursday the 28th. We're going to be doing a session of multiplayer with it, just like we do on Fridays, but only on Thursday. We're going to play the usual co-op, deathmatch, and then some duels if anybody's around to play that. And then probably on Friday we're still going to do the Friday event, although slightly different or with less people. We'll see how we do this. But in the meantime, once again, thanks a lot for watching, people, and see you around. Remember that we're on Discord and all that nonsense, although I think the viewers are from Discord. Still, doesn't matter. Alright, see you. And how do I stop this stream? Here we go. Alright, for good. See ya.